what the true values of life are. What things are important? Who I need to make my priorities with. And if I make my priorities with whom the number one person is in the whole wide universe, and that's God and His Son, Jesus Christ. And I dwell upon that then and trust that, then what life I have remaining upon this earth will be so enriched. And I will have many more opportunities to be able to sit down with someone and says, you know, God loves you. No matter what you've done in your life, no matter how far you've been that little bunny that wanted to run away from God. No matter how much dissatisfaction you as a little bunny just didn't like the way things were going on in your life. And you saw the picture that Satan gave you, that you have a lot of fun. Everything is joyous, and then all of a sudden you've had so much fun that your life is such turmoil and trouble you don't even know how to live any longer. But Satan says, that's what I want you to do. I don't want you to recognize that Jesus is the light of life. I don't want you to recognize that when times are hard and troubles come along, that He is the only one that you can really count on to bring you peace and comfort and give you strength and courage to face each and every day of your life. You have a story to tell. You have a story to tell that when you find out that He's been there in your dark times and gave you a way out, and you followed that little light out of that darkness, and you found the victory in that darkness, no matter even if it ends up in death and you spend eternity in the house of God. He's giving you that light to show you the way. And yes, there's not a one of us here this morning that doesn't have a story to tell about how Jesus has been involved in our life and how He helped them through the times of trials and tribulations. There's not a one of us here that doesn't have a story that says through prayer, my prayer was answered. Maybe not with a yes answer, but by Him saying no to me, it enriched my life and made me realize how much closer I could be with Him, and He wanted to be with me. How gracious He was to me. You know, we've heard about grace, God's grace, and one time, and grace, you know, we talk about grace still a lot on the Emmaus Walk. And a lot of topics, a lot of talks on grace. And I looked up the word grace one time because I think one of Harrison's talks on the walk this weekend was justifying grace. Justifying grace. And let me just tell you that grace means to bestow upon someone or one dignity and honor. Dignity and honor. And you're justified. You're qualified. You have individually that justifying grace that because Jesus Christ died upon the cross and was resurrected, because God loves you so much, He says, I want to bestow upon you dignity and honor all your life. And that's what Paul is praying about. Even as he is in prison, and even as he is in chains, and even though as a nation they try to stop him from telling his story, Paul says, I've had a relationship with Jesus Christ, and I have had a relationship with God that I want you to pray for me. That I will fearlessly tell the story, the gospel of Jesus Christ. I pray that nothing will hinder me from doing this. Even as I am in bondage, I pray that I will be an ambassador. And I pray that I'll be able to do it without a notion of stopping, of quitting. And you know, if you have looked at the news this week and all the things that are going on in Washington and the earthquakes around the world, and there's, I think there was even some yesterday again in Chile that aftershock the earthquake that's there. Harrison going to Florida this morning to load planes and load material that'll be from the United Methodist Church going into Haiti, starving people. We don't even have any idea of the devastation that's there. This week you'll have an opportunity to go to First Broad in their mission programs and learn about Sudan. And we were listening to Danny Howe Wednesday night, and if this doesn't touch your heart, I don't know what will. But the first picture he showed that the Bishop Swanson has on his desk, and some of you heard this, but it is worth repeating, that here's a vulture sitting here, and there is a young girl, probably 3 to 4 years old, on her hands and knees, crawling to a bowl of food because she's so starved and so undernourished. But that vulture is there, says when she dies, she's mine.